that came up out of nowhere this week was Federico Chiesa, who is now off to Liverpool for a fee that is supposedly about £11 million, something like that, which is, to my mind, crazy value. We were talking about him earlier in the window at the end of July, I think, and the rumored fee was 2025. That's been cut in half, and of course, Liverpool, being the smart team that they are, thought, yeah, we'll go and grab this guy. What do you think about the fit of Chiesa for Liverpool, Ravi?
I think first of all, I think he just has 1 year left in his contract. And I would say in terms of the price, generally when the price is so low, you wonder what the wages look like. Because
sure.
as a club, as somebody running the club, most of them generally look at what is cost per year. So you amortize the transfer plus what the salary is going to be over the years. So usually they look at players financially. Teams look at the squad in terms of how much this player cost me per year, how much this player cost me per year. If a player X is costing me 5 million per year all in, if I'm not going to renew him, usually what happens is I just bring in somebody in the same salary slot or same kind of cost slot. So it's something that North American sports are very used to doing, because they always look at these slots, 1 in, 1 out, 2 in, 2 out type thing, where how much room I'm creating on the cap or the salary budget and what players I'm bringing in. So I don't know. Obviously, it could be that his salary is pretty high. So it might even out, but still it's a good price.
I think the rumor was that that Juventus were happy to shift him because supposedly he was on about 7 million a year, something like that. Which I guess that's what, 140 a week, something like that. So for Liverpool, that feels quite doable in a way that for Italy, that's really up at the top of the range.
Yeah, for sure. And also he was also being played in a system where his skills were not being really used well, I think, in Juve. I mean, he's a very technical right-footed winger playing on the left side, cuts inside, creates chances, shoots, can create his own shot, but sometimes that's also a double-edged sword. Like, he does take some kind of wild shots or like shots low quality, but he is a good dribbler, and he definitely, I think, fit-wise, if you have to go back to Fiorentina where he played a little differently. I think you mentioned it in the before the show. And so what that shows is that he can adapt to playing different roles. I think last year he even played a little bit of wing back, which shows a couple things. One being that he's quite adaptable to playing different roles to get on the field. And number two is also someone that probably not that gets upset that he doesn't get to play in his favorite role. So playing as a wing back, being a winger like that, I think is not that difficult. I think if you look at it, but obviously different players look at it differently. So I think for Liverpool, he walks into the group as the backup for Luis Diaz on the left side. However, his game is very different from Luis Diaz. And so I think that gives Liverpool the opportunity to have a variety, throw a different look at a different type of opposition. Let's say if they're playing somebody really a low block team and you don't have a lot of space to run in behind, someone like him that's a really good dribbler can open things up, take guys on 1v1 and create some angles and passes. That may be one way to use him. The other thing is also one aspect of Arne Slot's management seems to be that he does make early subs. Like, he wants to use his full roster. I don't know if you watched the game this past weekend. He took out Trent around 77th or 75th, and Trent wasn't happy. And and then they shot to the dugout area where Arne was sitting next to Trent and talking to him, because Trent kind of was sulky when he walked off the field and just went and sat down in his spot. Anyway, that's an aside, but I think he looks like someone who wants to use the full depth of the squad. So having another player that's starting caliber that can come in and play, albeit slightly differently than a Luis Diaz, I think that gives that gives a lot of flexibility for Liverpool.
And I think I completely agree with you. I think the best Chiesa, as Kim has said in the newsletter, is the Chiesa that's playing off the left, that's coming inside and getting shots. That is the Chiesa we saw of that last season at Fiorentina. It's the Chiesa we saw of the first season in Juventus. And these were the seasons where his shot numbers were healthy and he put up really good expected goal numbers. You pointed out that he's become more of an expected assist guy over the last few years, which I think probably is a product of playing different roles. Now, I don't want him. I don't think the best way to maximize him is to put him on the right. But if you do have a system where your right back is stepping into midfield, then your right winger kind of has to hold the width. And that feels a bit weird when your right winger is Mo Salah, because he can do it, but it's not where he does the most damage. Well, having Chiesa in that situation, who does have experience of playing as a wing back and maybe is a bit less bothered about getting his shots when he plays there, would that kind of make sense as a fit in that situation?
He looks like a player that is adaptable, that can play different roles. And in a team like, if he walks into a team like Liverpool from Juventus, where he was being played a little bit out of position, but he's now going into a higher profile team, I think he will do everything to get on the field. And I think that what you pointed out, being on the right side, where if Trent comes inside, then him staying wide and holding the width, I think that's another thing that, while it probably wasn't used as much at Juve, I think it could be a really good way to use him at Liverpool.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.